Hi everyone, my name is Abby here with Hostirian, and I'm going to share with you one very effective way that you can boost your search engine optimization on WordPress. Let's get started.
So I already have the page pulled up for you here. I just went to my blog post section and I clicked on the top article that I wanted to use. I just am using this as an example to show you guys what it's like inside of a blog post on WordPress and how you can use it to boost your SEO online, on Google, on any search engine. So 5 things that you need to be split testing on your website. Just a super simple, really short kind of guide for people who are looking to split test different things on their website, especially their call to action button. But first I'm just going to show you a little bit about the right hand side here and what is going on, and then we're going to get into SEO. So first of all, you have your status and visibility showing you that you can make it visible to everyone, private people, or have it be password protected. You can also publish it really anytime that you want. If I wrote this article today and I wanted to post it 2 weeks from now, I could so do that really at any time as well. And if I wanted this specific article to stick to the top of my blog of all the articles that I've written, I would press this button right here and it would show up at the very top of the Hostirian blog page. The author is me, obviously. We're going to be focusing on this for a huge majority of the time. The readability status is okay on this post, and the SEO analysis is good, and we got a green smiley face. It's always great to see those green smiley faces. Along the rest of the side here are just little things that are going to show you how your article is going to show up online. So the permalink is just the URL slug, and that is going to be the last part of your URL. So it's going to really show this at the end of whatever your website name is. So hostirian.com /5 things you need to be split testing on your website, split test for better results. So it's just going to be adding that just as another indicator of where it is on your website. And then we're going to press that down arrow again. And here are categories, and this is where my article is going to show up. So Hostirian blog, news and industry news, and then we have tags here showing, so these tags are words that people usually look up on Google or any search engine. So the words that I put on here are meant to capture those people asking questions or searching these words and direct them back to my page. So these tags are also very important to add, and it's also really important to not just enter a random word and something that maybe doesn't go along with the article as much, because you want somebody to come back to your page and read your stuff and read your content. If you've ever heard content is king, that really is true. So no matter what website you have, what kind of stuff you're putting out there, it's really important that your stuff is accurate and that people are being drawn back to your website for things that they're actually looking for. So we're also looking at a featured image here. Make sure that you always have a featured image on your site so that your information isn't boring and it's not just your headline or the words on your page. People, are sometimes kids at heart and they like looking at pictures. Or maybe that's just me. I really do think that all people like looking at pictures though. And don't forget to add an excerpt to that. So if you were to post this on social media, then your featured image and your excerpt would both show up on that social media page. We're going to put that back up and put that down. Okay, so under discussion, you can click both or you can have both unclicked. This allows comments on your post in the actual WordPress site, and then the pingbacks and trackbacks are actually something that alerts another blogger that you have linked their information to you. So like I said, you can have them clicked or unclicked, whatever you really would prefer as well. So we're just going to go right into the SEO right here. And actually this thing right here, I find it kind of confusing why this is happening, but I guess it's really just so you can organize where you like everything on the page. So I guess it gives you some freedom there in that aspect. But For a majority of the time, this section right here is normally at the bottom of the page, so you may be dealing with this section over here. And if so, that's okay. It just depends on where you prefer to have it on your page. So depending on where it is on your page, it's all going to look the same, like I said. But first of all, we're going to be looking at the SEO part. So if your SEO is not good on your page, WordPress will tell you, and it will say right here, it'll say SEO analysis, bad, not great, whatever it says, and it'll give you a frowny face, it'll give you one of these orange faces, and the frowny face is normally red, so you know that that's not a good thing. So yeah, you just want to make sure that you are always paying attention to your SEO analysis, because that kind of stuff is really important when people are looking for that information. You want them to look for your site. So right here, this is very, very important. Your focus key phrase. And I'm just going to click on that just to show you what WordPress is going to do for you. And actually, this is a site called Yoast SEO. This is an app that you can actually integrate into WordPress if you'd like. It's something that you can install, integrate, and it'll help you a lot with your SEO. It's not something that you have to have, but it will help. And as you can see, we have it, and it took us to a page just like this. So this actually is telling us how to choose the right focus keyword. What is a focus keyword? It's the search term that you want a page or a post to rank for most. When people search for that phrase, they should find you. So these kind of fun little pages that come with clicking those question marks are going to tell you what it is, and that's kind of something that I admire about WordPress, because you know they don't leave you in the dark about questions that you have or things that you're wondering, so you don't have to go to another page and go, well, what is this? You just have to look at the page itself, and it'll figure that out for you. So I think that is actually very cool. So we found out what focus key phrase is. It's something that it's the main key point to your article. So my main key point to this article was split testing. So I decided, let's put split testing for the key phrase, and obviously that worked. It gives you the preview as a mobile result and also a desktop result. So like what it's going to look like for someone if they're on their laptop or on a desktop, whatever it may be. For a majority of people searching online, most people are using their mobile phones to find information. So you always want to make sure that your website, your articles, your things look great on a mobile device, because you do not want to be that one website that just doesn't look great on on a phone, which is everybody uses a phone nowadays. So information is at your fingertips. Right here, this is called your meta description, and this is something, I'm just going to go ahead and press edit snippet. It's going to give you a title, and this is actually, let me show you. This part, the slug, split test for better results, actually ended up being the permalink. So those two are the same thing, but it was apparently better and more understood in WordPress if I were to enter it into here. So the meta description also ended up being the excerpt on my social media page. So I actually made them the same thing anyway. Actually, no, I didn't. I did not make them the same thing anyway. This is different than this. But still, this ended up being what was posted on social media. So the meta description, though, as you can see, is what shows up on your mobile device or on a desktop when someone looks it up. So if someone looks up something about split testing, this is what will come up, and it'll be that little snippet of information right there that someone will first see when they're looking at this information. So you want to make sure that it's engaging, that it tells what your article is about or what content you're about to provide them, so they're not confused or anything like that. So it doesn't give you a lot of characters, so you kind of want to be short and sweet with it. But yeah, you definitely want to make it engaging and something that someone would want to look at. We're going to close Snippet Editor because we already did that. So we're going to look at the SEO analysis Split testing is what I have. You can also add key phrase synonyms. I didn't add anything for that, but you can go ahead and press the question mark if you want to know more about that. So this is actually a really interesting part of the results because it shows you the entire analysis results. Before I did anything on this page, it went through and it had many red dots, and it would say this was a problem and this was a problem, and slowly one by one I fixed each one of them. So the only problem on this page is I have no outbound links. And outbound links is having a link from another blog linked to this article. So something that I could do is I could go back to another article that I've written and post this exact URL into that article, and that would solve this problem. But since this was a new article, I didn't want to do that, so no outbound links. But if I were to write something in the future and I wanted to include this, then that would be considered an outbound link, and that would just make it that much better. And outbound links and inbound links are very important because when somebody's looking up something online or searching something on Google, those links will be able to help that person find more information of what they're looking for. And it's also going to help you get more noticed. So the more links that you have linked into your article, the more information they're going to find about you and your website, which will lead to growth and potential purchase if you own a business where you're selling something, or it could be just a blog that you're writing and you just want more people to look. But don't forget about outbound and inbound links. They called me out and said no outbound links appear on this page. They have an improvement suggestion, image, alt, attributes. Images on this page do not have alt attributes that reflect the topic of your text. So that has to be something about I can't find it now, my featured image. It has to be something about my featured image. But we can go ahead and click on that just to see. Alt tag and title tag optimization. Adding images to your article encourages people to read them, and well-chosen images can also back up your message. The alt and title attributes of an image are commonly referred to as an alt tag or alt text or title tag, but they're not tags, they're attributes. So technically I did do that, but it just probably wasn't to their standards. So that is something that you can also look up and do if you feel the need to do that. But I think what WordPress is really looking for and what this SEO analysis is really looking for is that you have most of everything covered, because everything else is kind of just there, So internal links were good. I linked, let me show you. I linked to another article that I have in our database, so that is considered an internal link. The key phrase introduction, that was let me show you, the split testing, that was that. Key phrase distribution, that was how much that key phrase was distributed around my entire article. The key phrase length, that was pretty good to them apparently. The density was found 17 times in the article exactly. The meta description they thought was really good. The meta description length was pretty good. Previously used key phrase, you've not used this key phrase before. Okay, so that's also something they take into account, was if I've used the key phrase before. So something you may want to consider is switching up your key phrases and making it well known that you guys are a very well-rounded company with different key phrases and different ways that you can help. The text length was great, so all of my words added up to 1,153 words. The key phrase in the title was really good, so the fact that I had my keyword in the title, they really liked that. The SEO title width, they liked that as well, and the key phrase in the slug. So the slug meaning, let me show you. The edit snippet, and then you go in here and there's the slug in there. So the related key phrase, they did not like that as much. I use CTA because this article is really about split testing your call to action button, and since I did not use the word call to action a lot, I used the word CTA a lot more. I used the word CTA, and they were not a big fan of that word, but you know what, that's okay. You're not going to appease WordPress as much as you are the people who are looking up that exact word. So you can also add a related key phrase. I did not do that, but that, you know, if you have more key phrases that you wanted to add, so let's say that you were writing about several different things and you wanted to add several different key phrases, this is where you would do that. So instead of just picking one thing, you could pick multiple things. You have your Cornerstone content here as well. You can turn this on or off, and then you can also learn more about that Cornerstone content. I have it turned off, so I did not touch that. They do say the Cornerstone content should be the most important and extensive articles on your site. So if you have an article that's long in length, or you know, a lot of words, or that's more important than another article, you may want to turn that on and read what that's all about. And then the insights show you the prominent words that you have used on your article. So the following words and word combinations occur the most in the content. This gives an indication of what your content focuses on. If the words differ a lot from your topic, you might want to rewrite your content accordingly. So your CTA button, your split test button, split testing, shape of your CTA button. So these were said most often, and these were written most often. So those are my most prominent words. If we go back through and just check out the analysis once again, it's a really interesting look through. So if you have written an article and you are confused on what you did wrong, or maybe you're not seeing a lot of traffic, go through on this specifically and look at all of the problems that SEO is catching, because you are not going to be very successful in this if you are not filling out your meta description, if you're not filling out your slug, if you're not, you know, adding in an excerpt, if you're not adding in a picture. SEO is just so important. So don't forget to add your tags, your key phrase as well. And I think you will be good to go. This part, like I said, is can be kind of confusing, and if you don't know what you're doing, it's something that you may just not ever deal with or kind of push aside because you're kind of like, I don't want to deal with that today. But don't be afraid of it. Don't be scared of it. You know, everybody gets noticed in their own way. So once you have your SEO all figured out, then you will be good to go on that aspect, because your website will be ready to be seen online. Your website, your information, your articles will be put out online, and you'll start to see yourself on the first page, you know, as one of the top websites on the first page. So that's somewhere that you can get. That's something that you can achieve, and some goal that you can go after. So don't get down on yourself. Just keep going. Like I said, this is one quick way that you can boost your SEO on WordPress. Like I said, my name is Abby. If you have any questions, comment down below. If this helped, let us know as well. Don't forget to subscribe and like us on Facebook and Twitter. Have a good day, guys.